Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
And I've been waiting, waiting, waiting for your hunger. And I've been waiting, waiting, waiting for you. And I've been waiting, waiting, waiting for your sorrow to land on me. And I've been waiting, waiting, waiting for the future. And I've been waiting, waiting, waiting for us. And I've been wishing, wishing, wishing for your laughter to land on me. Lay your trust, your burden. Lay your hope on me, babe. Take this love that I got.
Hi everybody, it's wonderful to come talk to you today. I hope you're having a wonderful day and I hope you're keeping a little bit cool. I heard from you last week that you were like dying in the heat, and it has been hot here too. So I went to Ulta this week and I had so much fun, and I had been seeing this line of makeup, the Makeup Revolution London, and I wanted to try that line so badly. I wanted to try their Hot Spice blush palette. I wanted to try their contour palette, and I wanted to try their eyeshadow palette, the New-Trals versus New-Trals. And I saw my friend Mary Glitzy Fritzy do a sort of a tutorial on eye look on that palette, and I loved it. And I saw oh, what's her name? Just drawing a blank. What's her name? I can't remember. A few months ago, I saw Emily Noel do a hot or not type video on what some of their best palettes were, the Revolution London. Two of the palettes I totally love, and the third one I'm just a little confused by. But, you know, I'm not going to review the palettes today so much as to just sort of give you my first impressions of how I feel about them. So the palettes are so beautiful. They remind me so much of the Tom Ford Pure Cosmetics kind of packaging, a sort of, you know, like a piano, a black shiny piano. That's what they remind me of. Very high quality, a little hard to get open, but not too bad. As you can see, there are 8 different shades in here, and there are 2 that are baked, which are very, very pretty, and you probably would use these as highlighters. I actually didn't have any luck with that at all. Like I said, this is the palette that kind of confused me the most. Now, I do know that it's very, very popular right now to over blush. It's sort of putting on your contour and then putting on a couple different types of blushes to give you that just chiseled, over blushed look, and it's very popular. And actually, one of my subscribers said that actually that was so popular in the 80s and that it's come back. So when I first, you know, I tried to use each color individually on my cheeks, and it didn't go on evenly, and it looked patchy, and the color didn't look good, and I didn't like it, and I just didn't understand it. I really just did not get it. And the thing is, I think that you can't really review something until you've lived with it for a few weeks, unless it's just really terrible. But I didn't want to, you know, say, oh, well, you know, my experience with this palette is don't buy it, you'll hate it. I don't feel that way. What I ended up doing is just taking my brush and just lightly going over the whole entire palette, and then using it that way, and that way it went on even. Nothing seemed phony, and I got the look that I wanted, and like, who knew? So yeah, I did not find that using each individual blush worked for me. I just used it actually as one, and then I loved it. So am I confused by that? Yes, probably I shouldn't have even brought it up, but that's how I'm using this palette, and I'm rather enjoying it. The next palette that I got was the contour palette. which looks the same. Beautiful, beautiful packaging, beautiful mirror. And you know, I never had a contour palette other than the $3 Wet n Wild. And you know, that goes on fast. It's not real pigmented, you know, so you can't really, you know, make too bad of a mistake. As you can see, there are 8 shades here. Very interesting, all different ways that you can contour or strobe. They're giving you a lot of different opportunities to sculpt your face in any way you want it sculpted. This one down here is a very kind of neutral kind of tan, which is my very favorite for contouring my cheeks. And also I love that color in the crease of my eyelid too, you know, on those days where you just want you know, just a little bit of maybe a highlight and a nice warm kind of tone to your eye. So it's kind of nice there. So I have a lot to learn when it comes to the contour palette, but I thought it was a very high quality and I did really enjoy it. The 2 baked options in the palette, I suppose you can use those for highlight. I wouldn't personally do that. There are so many other beautiful highlighters on the market. I just thought it was a little too harsh for me. The way that I have been able to use these palettes is not actually looking at them as individual pans of product, but actually looking at the whole palette, the whole totality of the palette, and then kind of catching all those different elements on my brush. And it just seems the product just goes on better. It goes on smoother, it looks more natural, and yet it gives me the kind of effect that I'm looking for. But my very favorite palette that I got at Ulta was the eyeshadow palette, the New-Trals versus New-Trals. You know, can I just say that whoever titled the palette that is probably a huge pot smoker, because, I mean, isn't that just like the silliest name that you've ever heard? But if you were like really loaded or high, you just go, wow, that's really heavy. I'm going to name that palette. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, so this is the New-Trals versus New-Trals palette. I haven't smoked a joint since 1993, so what do I know? That was a good year, though. I went to a funeral. Hi. Wow. Actually, it was my husband before I was married to him, and his mother's mother died, and I was just so completely loaded. That's why I never do drugs. My mother always used to say that I was born high. But anyway, she said that she liked me right off the bat because when she took my hand at the funeral, she was so upset, and she took my hand and my hand was warm. And I think my hand was warm because I was loaded. But anyway, it made her like me and I loved her. And okay, so I digress. And again, I will show you a closer look at what this palette looks like later in the video. But this is the New-Trals versus New-Trals palette. Isn't that? It's beautiful. And I have heard some ladies say that this is a very close dupe for the Sweet Peach palette. And I am lucky enough that I do have that palette. And some of the peach colors do remind me of that palette. And so every time I open up this palette, I want to smell it. And it doesn't smell good like the Sweet Peach palette. But it is beautiful. I've had a lot of fun with it. The colors are very pigmented. You can get 1,000 different looks with this palette. Next to the Sweet Peach palette, this is my very favorite eyeshadow palette. I love the tones of the browns. They're so beautiful. And I think, you know, when you think that it's between $10 and $15, and, you know, I can go to the drugstore and I can, you know, spend $19 on a palette, and it's not half as nice as this one. It's not, you know, just the packaging, but it's the care that they took with it. They've named all the shadows, but it's not just the pigmentation. It's the uniqueness of the colors and how they go with each other, and how you have these beautiful shimmers and mattes, and you know, I'm just mesmerized by it. And you know, some people, you know, when they get stressed out, they drink, or you know, they gamble or whatever, you know. When I get stressed out, I go into the bathroom and I wash my face, and then I play with eyeshadow. me, you know how much I love rosehip seed oil. And hey, I found a mask that has rosehip seed oil in it, hyaluronic acid, manuka honey, and argan oil. It is from New Zealand. It is called By Nature. There are 5 sheet masks in the box, and it is an amazing mask, and it actually does exactly what it says it's going to do. It does firm your face, and it absolutely minimizes pores. You put this sheet mask on and it is so cold, and 10 to 12 minutes you keep it on, take it off, rub in the extra moisture from the mask, keep that on for a couple of minutes, you wash it off, and it is amazing. Not too crazy about the smell, but for a special occasion, amazing what it looks like. And it's so amazing just to have masks that have rosehip seed oil in it, because it's just so soothing and so healing. I was so happy to find these masks. I found them at Marshall's this week. They were only $5.99. I have a link below to the company's website, and they also sell a coconut mask along with some other products. I was really amazed. I used the mask this morning, and I think that is definitely an issue. You know, when we get older, it isn't just, you know, fine lines and wrinkles, or even discoloration. So much of it is firmness. So yeah, I think you'll really like it. So thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I was just so excited to go to Ulta and get those 3 palettes, and so thank you for letting me talk to you about them, because I mean, I just had so much fun, and I'm going to have a lot more fun with them too. So thank you for letting me share that with you, and my new rosehip seed oil mask. So I hope you have a wonderful brand new week, and I hope you do a lot of wonderful things. And when you're done with all those wonderful things, I hope you come back and see me and Cooper, okay? Okay.
Another summer soon will wind down, and I think about my vow last Christmas to find a love no matter what the cost. But so many things got in the way. Perhaps sometimes I talk a little bit too long to that waitress. Or I talk a little bit too long to that clerk in the store. I think sometimes I just need to hear the sound of my own voice. The only thing I know for sure is that nothing stays the same. I'm not staying the same. I'm growing and I'm changing. And I wouldn't miss a minute of it.